My name is Cinde-Lee Koopman from Geluk Psychology Services, where we care about your mental health. You are watching The Tribe on One Africa TV.
Welcome back to The Tribe. Now, a few weeks ago, we were joined on set by Geluk Psychology Services intern psychologist Cinde-Lee Koopman, who joined us to talk more about creatives and their mental well-being. Take a listen to this. Now, a high suicide rate in the music industry is not unheard of. But as of late, the industry has been hit with heartbreaking suicides as musicians continue to face daunting challenges while navigating through their creative journeys. To give us more insight into some of the mental challenges creatives do face, I'm joined by Cinde-Lee Koopman, an intern psychological counselor from Geluk Psychology Services. Cinde-Lee, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah. Look, it's so important, I think, that we have this discussion and this conversation, especially of late. We've lost so many profound Namibian musicians as well as from the Southern African region. And I think that audiences and fans are affected, each one in a different way, perhaps depending on how much they love their artist. But it's so much more important to understand what actually happens in the world of this art and this creative journey. So let's start at the very beginning. Tell us about the creative mind itself. Is that very different from an everyday accountant's mind, or how does an artist's mind work?
Good question. You see, everything starts with your mind. And having a creative mind, you're definitely different compared to the person who likes structure. Having that creative mind, you lean more towards flexibility, imagination. You know how to play around with ideas and sounds and words, and that is just based on your mind. Your personality is tied to that. We know of the different types of personalities we have. I'm not going into detail about the names, but you get people who are thinkers, you get people who are inspirers, you get people who are doers, you get the visionary people, and these are all based on how your brain is structured and what stimulates your brain, what your brain, where it flourishes and what areas brings out the best or it doesn't, you know, where you best can be utilized as an individual. And a lot of creative people are divergent thinkers. They like to be creative, as the word says. You're not just going to sit in a bubble, structure. So you love the thrill of ideas
Going
out, you know, that stimulates you as a person. And that is because that is how your mind works.
Let's talk about the challenges, though, the mental and the emotional challenges that one might face in an industry like, for example, the music industry.
And I really want to make it specific to the Namibian industry. I know that we're talking to an audience that's in Namibia. We feel with our artists. We see what our artists are going through, and artists that are listening, you know, within the Namibian society. I think one of the most pressing situations are your job and financial instability.
It's true.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, how draining can that not be? You're constantly stressed about bills that are piling up. You have that fear of, if I don't get a gig, if I don't get a job, a contract. I think a lot of opportunities are contract-based. If the contracts aren't there, how am I going to sustain myself, sustain my family? So that's constant worry. I think there's a lot of competition within the Namibian society. We know that.
If, for instance, I'm an artist and I'm watching right now and I'm identifying with some of the things you're talking about, or simply me as a person knowing somebody's going through something, where can we contact Geluk Psychology Services in order to help and assist each other in this regard?
I think firstly, you know, if you relate to everything that you and I just discussed too, I think make that conscious decision and tell yourself, I've been noticing these patterns, let me be brave enough and ask for help. And like we all know, forms of communication, social media is the quickest, easiest, most convenient. Geluk Psychology are on all social media platforms. We have Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. We have our own website called geluk.com.na. Our Instagram handle is Geluk Psychology. So do give us a follow. We work through DMs as well. We make it as convenient as possible for you. We do have...
As accessible.
As accessible, that's the correct word. Thank you. So please, I think in terms of where to go, just do your research. Just, try and put yourself out there, hear what the conversation going. I think the talks around mental health, slowly but surely, it's coming on the rise. So just, put out your ear and or do some searching. We are there. Our contact details, should I give our number?
Please give your number.
So we have 2 lines that you can call. The first one is 081 7724 334. Our second line is 0811 278858.
Cinde-Lee, thank you so much for joining us on this episode. I think it was so important for us to at least touch base, even though very lightly, on mental well-being for creatives in an industry such as ours. And you've really highlighted a few important things, such as finances being triggers, simply just even drugs and alcohol being triggers. And thank you for giving us a little insight into what the mental state might be of a creative. I'm sure that there are audience out there who are listening, as well as musicians who have much more questions, and that they will contact you. But thank you for your work, and thank you for being open, man, and just for coming to tell us, Thomas, so thank you very much.
Thank you for having me, and just thank you for creating such a platform. It's always a pleasure. We want to help, we want to walk this journey with you, and I think we are open. Just make that decision.
Guys, just make that decision. Pick up the phone and call. If ever you need someone to talk to, pick up the phone and call. Here is Lady Dinah featuring Adora and Elizabeth on this one called Osalila on the track.